Solidaridad held a holistic management workshop at St. Dominic's in Lusaka and had an excursion visit to Mpanshya in Rufunsa. Dr. Christine Yamba gives a background to the workshop and the excursion.
Management of livestock in relation to the environment is a very hot topic currently. Solidaridad right now is looking at how can we manage livestock in a more holistic way and a way that does not destroy or harm the environment. One of the programs that we have is in Mazabuka, where we're working with smallholder farmers in Itebe, and we are basically looking at how do we help them to manage their animals, get them to be productive, but at the same time ensure that the environment is not harmed but possibly regenerated. So we have been working with the farmers for a period of time, and one of the activities that we saw fit was to hold a workshop, and this is to bring to light the different activities that are taking place in Mazabuka for information to the public, so that they could hear firsthand from our farmers what it is that they're doing and what benefits they have seen. To ensure that we get the full picture, we then worked with Grassroots Trust and a group in Mpanshya. And these are farmers that are practicing rotational grazing. So we held a 2-day workshop. The first day was in Lusaka, where we actually had a half-day workshop. And we had over 100 different participants from different walks of life who came through and listened to the different presentations that were brought up on that day. The key issue that we are looking at is holistic land management. How do we manage livestock and at the same time ensure that this livestock, as opposed to it destroying the environment, actually becomes a tool to regenerate? So some of the issues that we're looking at is the movement of animals from one place to the other. So we looked at the ground cover in terms of the grass, and we moved the animals from that place before they have overgrazed. At the same time, we're practicing rotational grazing, where we bring the animals together in a holding pen and try to ensure that we benefit from the cow dung and the urine as a form of manure for the grassland, and thus helps to quickly regenerate these areas. So the hooves also help to break the hard surface, so that when the waters come, when the rains come, the surface is not hard, because as we know, with a hard surface, the water just runs off. But when the animals have kind of dug into and broken that hard pan, the water is then able to penetrate, and thus the surface benefits from that water with the manure and the urine from the animals. We do expect to see a good regrowth. This has happened in Itebe, and we did have our farmers do a presentation. And the second day we went into Mpanshya, which was now a practical experience. So our farmers and other participants who were willing to go went with us to Mpanshya, and they saw for themselves the movement of animals in action, and also were informed of the regeneration of the land.
Once in Mpanshya, the various participants and headmen from Itebe had the following to say.
Ominangu mulundu uhomya bombe menduhi mulundu uhomya bombe balamba balambwa n'amambutwa tagalabo mu buswina bandiminya balambwa n'amambutwa tagalabalo mu bwenda nti twagalabalo mu mahila omwinangu mbutwa tagalabalo mu bwenda ondega undegelele omwinangu undegelele ilwendo ma undegelele yashiga jindi ubangulule omwinangu ubange.
We had a meeting in November, or that November what, 9th I think?
November 9th,
where I was privileged to invite all headmen in our chiefdom. Because of the problem that we are facing, brothers and sisters. This animal called global warming, it is here to finish us if we don't stand up to it. And we said, how do we then get back to this challenge? I called my headmen. I called my men from government, the agriculturists. I said, government has come up with very interesting ideas. They want to bring livestock. They want to restock fish, whatever they're calling it. And I needed to make a decision in our chiefdom that we need livestock farmers to exist in our chiefdom. We need beekeeping farmers to exist in our chiefdom. Now, for all these people to exist, they needed land. And then I had the opportunity because I also preside over this land. The fight of charcoal burning came up. I said, if government is promoting this livestock industry that we want to get into now, and in some event that the trees that we need are finishing because of charcoal, I said we must stop cutting down our trees at the rate that we are doing. Now I heard what other was to say, as African we produce so much, and that's our culture.
Unakindabona daiya daily. Buba kama mukupagwe ya daily. Amanda bona mambe daily mba isunga. Yamana alibi ndanaga masambuli mbasheni. Bwa vete una agwa bamenda uche bamenda ngulagaita indiri. Yamana alibi ndabona mambe mbuba jinchawula kumagana kwenda ajela wasunu. Amana ari mihalonga ari mihawujene rambi obuhugwizo bahuga amana buhuga bwizobu ari mihawu baraje nabizo kubika no oburi amana irite yatinzara ngombe tayizarape anene
from Mazabuka Chief Mana Chingwana. On these 3 days visit, I have learned something which have interested me very much. To shift the animals from one place to another. It gives the animals not to be bitten by the ticks, and by so doing it is cheap to have the animals, to keep the animals minus dipping. As you know, these days dip is very much expensive. So the best way to use is to shift the animals and reserve that money for dipping, which means progress is there, and I'm happy to know that. And I'm going to put it into practice when I go back to my area so that I save that money which I'm using now for dipping.
I'm happy to be here. The most things we have learned a lot from this farm. We have learned how to feed the cows, and then we have learned like how to do the milk from the cows. And then even the tour.
The participants took a walk into the bush to see the mobile cattle herds. number of keynote speakers took to the stage to give various presentations at the St. Dominic's workshop.
How does the land need to behave? How do we need to behave to the land so that it's growing fast, so that it produces enough resources, so that everybody comes on board? And so far, I think the idea in Zambia has been let's make money, just like the rest of the world. It's about making money. How do we make money? Economy. Even EU, America, China, they don't think about the consequences.
What is quite clear is that our own tradition, our own people, do actually have 400 years of practice which has worked. And when I've listened to what we have heard here, I'm so glad that it harmonizes. What is clear is that the knowledge is actually still there, but people have been disempowered. The traditional structures have been disrupted. Some of the so-called modern adjustments that have been done, the net effect was disempowerment.
Zambia really is perfectly located and has the perfect sort of soil profile to really play an instrumental role in reversing global warming. And so the methods that you take to improve the soil also turn out to be exactly the same methods to deal with global warming. The international community is finally acknowledging that climate is a real problem and we need to do something about it. Soil is an important solution, and the people who are working with soil, in my case I work with the pastoralist community, they're actually on the front lines of helping to reverse global warming.
So I started a regenerative livestock enterprise, and I'm now applying the principle of holistic management, holistic land grazing, to manage my enterprise. And I'm seeing so many people, about 18 of them are in different parts of Masai land. Actually, some of them big landowners are doing what they saw us teaching them in our training. We have done holistic management trainings with support from SED and Soil for Climate, and we have had actually about 3 or 2 people trained in Masai land. And some of them have been coming to our meetings, and they are actually practicing what we have been taught. So, my message for my fellow friends from Zambia is that this country needs all of us.
It is clear that the workshop has been beneficial, as the following activities have been implemented on the ground in Itebe. Activities such as no burning,
so twakalikumpa kwizu kaindi tama mukumpa kwizu kaindi twakama tomana kumpa kwizu me ali kukulaja kulya twampa kwizu twampa katunyina luyi so ngome akali kukoka maninga akamboti akali kukulaja kulya so ni babola ba Solidaridad bakatwambira kuti bakatwiha kuleka kumpa kwizu muleka kumpa kwizu mwayibona ibumbe alupitibe bakaleka kumpa kwizu katayabia ako kubasitula kwa bwiya tubone najira kweka msinga tojikona kusa tukajikona tukaleka kumpa kwizu tukaja na kuti kumpa kwizu titatubumbi kwizu zani tukaleka kumpa kwizu kumana ko myaka yobirwe mwambele suyi boneka kabotumi tu kaja ntaleka kumpa kwizu kabona kuti ingombe yesu yenda maninga akudozinga kuti kaijana kulya obwizu buyumu irajikwa kuti ndakahirya mwera bwizu buyumu kuyinda kubumpa kamboti iratozinga amana pamenda ali bakabwambena batuyakira kirasita yakumya menda muleji mejiri ngombe yasujirimo twama zomu kujela awonka twawitegerera menda ate akunye amenda makesta ngoba atuyagira kutwa jana kuti busani bungombezo ati mwa amenda ina kutakabona so kumaka na kwembezi bongombe twakajana kuti takalumba masoda batuberekera akatwisha chitotakali
leather tanning.
Bantu baleza bachibatu bambira guno kusaidise bongombe torunga yahwa mapatu irebo okusowa so anu bayi kuleta luibo mbena ba Solidaridad bamba ote into yotusowa uli into cho ichani cho igwaya no bakatubambira abantu batubambira hipa yato ibono ti hipa ya giracho hiswa twanda uti guno kusaiti wena katusuma mabusu katusuma mahandi bagi katusuma mawaleti katusuma ihete hakumutwe yonse yo yabola ko kuno kutebe itwa takati ani itwa kali yonse twayihi bagwinda muri ba Solidaridad so ino tupa ulumba kuli ba abantu kuno kutebe twabampo mpati gwinda muri ba Solidaridad inda bonse mawatambi kinda lubiteno bantu balisa.
And rotational grazing.
Nibatani ngabo teka tuyihe mputumbu bakatuyihe waje uti kokali marwazi manjanji angombe no bakatuyiha mbugu jincho igwa wembera ngombe buzabu sena bumbi kugama kubusena bumbi njitwamba uti rotational grazing lino uzani bakatuyihe obo wakajene uti amarwaza nzengene akajera mu Itebe kuti amaga nawo homa n'ingombe hagayo jamana mu Itebe monse turigise ngombe ikwana almost somewhere 11,000 Itebe yonse inwe ngombe tulayandanya jasiga jindi jamu somewhere mu August yonse tulayitora kutalaga Fuel River imwe ilajala kuno aonka utalaga Fuel River ya onka wokwela kala 6 months utegwa kuno kubusena kwe aida kubekiria manzengele ahwe
kusemali mboto twajana mungu kubangombe ngope cheke mbuba wambo batonga open cheke so ubangomba waliza to batoko yabo to haya basine bali 20 uno mwaka abo bata we abali 20 tomana babarwa mwaka wo gusangona twakoya to sambala twagula mota iraki toleta nani cruise so kumagana kuli matatu limi maningi sekuli magwese kubangwa ngope ni chego ngobamba ngamala ndi banki leso ko tuyoboda mali ku ngombe so jimbita tujiti kitujita kuba ngombe kitujikide maningi mana kambo ngombe yapa mali mu bunyi kutoyisunga kaboto.
The holistic management workshop and excursion was a resounding success, and it is hoped that Itebe and Mpanshya will continue to be flagship models of how regeneration of ecosystems can be attained through rotational grazing.